Right now, somewhere in America, there is a 16-year-old sitting in third period biology. They aren't passing notes or paying attention to the lecture. They're quietly checking their phone under the desk to see if their digital media empire just crossed $5,000 for the month.
Which is just wild to think about. And the craziest part of all of this is that the products they are selling, they didn't even exist 3 seconds before the customer clicked buy.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to today's deep dive. Today is Tuesday, July 28, 2026. And whether you are a parent trying to understand what on earth your kid is doing on their laptop, or, a creator looking for an edge, or just someone insanely curious about where the digital economy is heading, this topic is going to absolutely blow your mind.
It really is a complete structural shift in how we think about work and creation, and really just value in general. We're looking at this fascinating stack of recent reports detailing how teenagers across the US are basically leveraging generative AI to build these entirely automated enterprises.
Right, and hitting $5,000 a month, it isn't some rare anomaly anymore. I mean, doing the math, that translates to a $60,000 annualized run rate.
Yeah.
And they are managing all of this between high school classes and soccer practice.
Yeah, which is more than the starting salary for a lot of college graduates right now. It's totally upending the traditional summer job model.
It really is. So our mission today is to tear this apart and figure out the actual mechanics. We want to understand exactly how these young operators are choosing highly profitable digital niches and the ingenious marketing tactics they use to drive traffic and scale.
Because it's not just luck. There's a very specific methodology to how they're doing this.
Exactly. But before we get into the nuts and bolts of all that, let's kind of set the stage here. How did this happen so fast?
Well, we are witnessing a fundamental democratization of visual content creation. Generative AI engines have driven an 88% increase in active monthly creators, and overall visual output online has surged by 78% just recently.
Oh, wow, 78%. That's a massive influx of content.
It is. And what that means in strict economic terms is that the marginal cost of creating a visual asset has plummeted to near zero.
Okay, so just to clarify for everyone, once you pay for your monthly software subscription, it essentially costs you nothing to produce the first image, the 100th image, or, the 10,000th image.
Right, exactly. And because that creation cost is zero, the real economic value has completely migrated. It's no longer in the manual artistic rendering. Nobody is really paying for how well you can physically hold a paintbrush or use a digital stylus anymore.
Right, because the machine does that part perfectly now.
Exactly. The value has moved up the chain. It's moved to curation, prompt engineering, brand positioning, and distribution.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second, because I want to really dig into this shift from art to architecture. If the marginal cost of making a beautiful image is zero, how are they actually making money? I mean, where are the actual dollars changing hands in this ecosystem?
So, looking at our sources, it seems like these operators are building businesses across a few entirely different industries. But the most predominant avenue, by far, is micro e-commerce and print on demand.
Okay, so they set up digital storefronts on platforms like Etsy, right?
Yeah, Etsy is huge for this. And then they link those storefronts directly to global fulfillment networks like Printify.
Let's break down how that actually works for a second, because the logistics here are just wild to me. They are generating digital asset packages. So let's say a collection of really cohesive, vintage-looking botanical graphics.
Right, like old school apothecary labels or something.
Yeah, exactly. So they can sell those purely as digital downloads, like a ZIP file of PNGs. But with print on demand, they're basically connecting their storefront to a physical factory, right?
That is the beauty of the mechanism. If a customer on Etsy buys, say, a canvas tote bag featuring that vintage botanical design, the order data routes automatically to a Printify facility.
Without the teenager doing anything.
Completely hands-off. The facility prints the design onto a blank tote bag, boxes it up, and ships it directly to the customer in Ohio or wherever. The teenager running the store never touches physical inventory. They never buy packing tape. They never visit a post office.
So it is drop shipping, but with zero cost, infinitely customizable assets.
Exactly. And because there is virtually no overhead on the digital products themselves, we are seeing gross profit margins on the pure digital downloads routinely exceeding 85%.
An 85% margin.
Yeah.
That is just unbelievable. But e-commerce is just one piece of the pie here. What about industries that traditionally require massive gatekeepers, like, say, the publishing industry? Are these kids disrupting that too?
Oh, absolutely. They are building passive distribution pipelines through Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. The workflow here is fascinating because they are essentially assembling an entire publication-ready manuscript right from their bedroom.
Really? Like full books?
Yeah, they produce illustrated children's literature, specialized activity logs, highly niched daily journals, things like that.
So it's like a large language model, maybe a ChatGPT or Claude, acts as the architect. It draws up the blueprints, structures the narrative, outlines the chapters.
Right, does the heavy lifting on the text side.
And then a diffusion model like Midjourney acts as the construction crew, building the actual visuals, like the interior illustrations and the glossy exterior jacket cover.
Exactly. They are the author, the illustrator, and the publishing house all consolidated into one single person. And this consolidation extends into the digital media space as well, specifically business-to-business services.
Oh, right, the B2B side, like generating YouTube thumbnails for established content creators.
Yes, and that is a massive market. Because if you are a YouTuber operating at scale, your click-through rate is your lifeblood.
Oh, 100%. If nobody
Wow.
clicks the thumbnail, nobody sees the video, and you make zero ad revenue. It's the most important part of the video.
And these established creators know that, so they are incredibly willing to pay for performance. The teen operators use text-to-image generators to create these complex, highly dramatic scenes. And then they use AI post-processing suites to add the typography and color grading.
And they are charging what? Anywhere from $25 to $100 per custom thumbnail.
Yeah, depending on the client and the complexity. So a high schooler really only needs to land 10 to 15 recurring clients who post a couple of times a week to easily clear that $5,000 monthly threshold.
And I saw in the reports they're even doing this in gaming communities, right? Synthesizing two-dimensional character portraits and UI icons for Roblox and Minecraft modders, and then monetizing all of that through Patreon.
Yeah, the gaming asset market is huge for this.
It sounds like these teens aren't competing to be the best traditional painters at all. They've essentially become supply chain managers and creative directors for digital assets.
That is a perfect way to put it. They are managing the flow of synthetic assets.
But wait, I had to push back on this a little bit because it feels, I don't know, a bit too easy. If I can just log onto my computer, type a prompt, and generate a picture, isn't the entire internet completely flooded with low-quality junk? How on earth is a 16-year-old actually getting their stuff seen by a buyer?
That is the defining challenge of this entire ecosystem. You are dead on. The market is experiencing extreme saturation. The rapid influx of synthetic media has absolutely flooded these platforms.
Right, I mean, you search for anything on Etsy now and there are millions of results.
Exactly. But this is where understanding the underlying algorithmic mechanics becomes the real competitive advantage. Let's look at Etsy's search algorithm as the prime example here.
Okay, let's hear it.
A lot of beginners assume that if production is essentially free, they should just generate 10,000 random pictures of cats, upload them all, and play the numbers game.
Just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks.
Right, exactly. But Etsy's algorithm actively penalizes that behavior. It does not prioritize the total size of your catalog.
Oh, really? It doesn't care how many items you have?
Nope. It prioritizes historical conversion rates and shop age. If you upload 1,000 generic images and nobody clicks on them or buys them, your conversion rate totally tanks. The algorithm views your shop as irrelevant and buries your listings on page 50 of the search results, where literally no one will ever see them.
Okay, so spamming the platform is just a death sentence for your store.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't work, how do they actually find gold in all this saturation?
By abandoning the generic entirely and targeting hyper-specific aesthetic niches, they aren't generating a generic picture of a flower. They are generating, 17th century dark academia, apothecary, botanical illustrations.
Oh, wow. So going incredibly deep into a very specific vibe.
Exactly. They find a small, incredibly passionate community that wants a very specific, hard-to-find look, and they essentially own that micro-market.
And on the B2B side, for the YouTubers, it's the exact same logic,
Right.
right? They aren't selling generic art. They're selling a high-utility product.
Right, like stylized character portraits with dramatic dual lighting schemes that trigger human curiosity and force a viewer to click. The curation and the hyper-niche targeting really is the actual product here.
So the product isn't the image itself. The product is having done the agonizing work of refining the prompt until the image perfectly solves the buyer's highly specific problem.
You hit the nail on the head. That is the core of the business model.
Wait, okay, here's where it gets really interesting to me. If I'm a kid with a laptop, and my entire business relies on this one magical string of words that generates the perfect dark academia graphic, how am I keeping my golden prompt safe?
That is a very real concern for these operators.
Because if we are all using the same AI tools, can't someone just watch what I'm doing and steal my recipe?
They absolutely can, which is why the toolchain infrastructure these top operators use is incredibly intentional. Midjourney remains the central engine for a lot of this because of its high visual fidelity, right?
Right, it definitely produces some of the most realistic stuff out there.
Now, there are free and cheap AI generators everywhere, but commercial creators at this level generally utilize Midjourney's Pro tier, which runs about $60 a month, or the Mega tier at $120 a month.
Why spend that much overhead when free alternatives exist?
Yeah.
That cuts into the profit margin.
It all comes down to a specific feature called stealth mode. On the lower, cheaper tiers of Midjourney, every single image you generate and the exact text prompt you type to create it is published publicly in their Discord feeds and on their web galleries.
Wait, so anyone can just see your entire workflow?
Anyone. They can copy and paste your exact prompt. Stealth mode allows you to decouple your generations from the public feed.
Ah, I see. So they're paying $60 a month, essentially, for a digital vault. They are paying just to hide their text prompts.
Exactly.
Which proves that the specific combination of words, like specifying the camera lens, the lighting style, the rendering engine, that is their true intellectual property. It's the secret formula. And they have to shield those niche concepts from competitors.
And protecting that formula is what makes the unit economics actually work so well. Let's look at the financial model detailed in our sources for a standard digital downloads enterprise.
Yeah, let's get into the math. How do they actually hit $5,000?
So to hit a target of roughly $5,000 in net profit, the data shows an operator might need to sell around 1,230 digital bundles in a month.
Okay, doing some quick back-of-the-napkin math here. If they are selling those bundles at, let's say, an average of $5 a piece, that's generating a gross revenue just north of $6,000. Like $6,150.
Right, but obviously they don't get to keep all of that.
Exactly. What do the platform fees actually look like?
The platforms take their cut at every single step. Etsy charges a listing fee of 20 cents per item. Then they take a 6.5% transaction fee on the final sale price.
Ouch. And then I imagine the payment processors take a bite too.
Oh, of course. The payment processing gateway takes another 3% plus 25 cents per transaction.
So on a $5 digital download, they are losing roughly $1 to the platform.
Give or take, yes. If we run those percentages on a gross of $6,150 and factor in maybe $200 for targeted search ads to boost visibility.
Because they have to pay to play a little bit.
Right, so the gross operating profit lands at roughly $4,800.
And then you have to subtract the fixed software overhead. So that's the $60 for Midjourney, maybe $20 for a ChatGPT Plus subscription to write the SEO listing copy, and another subscription for Canva or Adobe to format the files.
Exactly. When you deduct that software overhead, which is maybe $110, it leaves a net monthly operating income of around $4,600 to $4,700.
Which is incredibly close to the goal.
Yeah.
So how are the top operators bridging that final gap to clear a full $5,000 consistently?
They do it through strategic upselling. They don't just try to grind out more $5 sales. They offer commercial licensing passes for $20 to $50.
Oh, meaning other businesses can buy the graphics to use legally on their own stuff.
Right. Or they package up their expertise and sell their master prompt engineering guides. It increases the average order value significantly, which naturally reduces the sheer volume of transactions they need to process to hit their goals.
Okay, so they have a vault protecting their IP, and they have the unit economics incredibly dialed in. But having a secret recipe hidden in a vault doesn't make you a single dime unless foot traffic actually walks through the door.
No, it doesn't.
So how is a high schooler driving over 1,000 specific targeted sales every single month while they are physically sitting in a classroom for 7 hours a day?
It relies on two major pillars, really: utility-driven value framing and external referral arbitrage.
Okay, let's break down that framing first, because the psychology of that sounds fascinating.
It's a brilliant pivot. Top-tier sellers never market their work as art.
Because art is subjective, right?
Yeah.
I might look at a beautiful painting online, admire it, and then just keep scrolling.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily feel compelled to pull out my credit card on a Tuesday afternoon just because something is pretty.
Exactly. But you will pull out your credit card if you have a problem that needs solving right now. So they frame their digital assets as a practical, time-saving solution.
Ah, I get it. They market them as like pre-formatted wedding invitation templates or commercial branding elements for small businesses.
Or those high-conversion thumbnail packs we talked about. They are selling sheer utility.
They're essentially selling the buyer their own time back.
Precisely. But to your point about foot traffic, they know that Etsy's native search bar is a crowded, noisy highway, so they use external referral arbitrage. They do not rely on the platform to bring them customers.
So what do they do instead?
They build entirely separate audience funnels on video-first platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube.
Okay, this makes so much sense. This is like refusing to open your store inside a crowded mall and instead setting up a highly targeted lemonade stand right at the exit of a massive YouTube concert.
That is a great analogy, and the data supports this heavily. According to the reports, YouTube alone is driving over 41% of all social traffic directly to these primary generative media storefronts.
Wow, over 40%, that's massive.
It is. They capture the attention where it's cheap and abundant on social media and then direct it to where it monetizes on Etsy or Patreon.
But wait, if they're going viral on TikTok and driving thousands of clicks to their store, how are they fulfilling all these orders while they are literally taking a chemistry exam? You mentioned automation earlier, but what does that actually look like behind the scenes?
This is where we get into workflow automation tools. Software like Zapier or Make.com, which act as digital glue between different apps.
Well, I've used Zapier. It's like if this, then that.
Exactly. When a customer clicks buy on Etsy, an API and application programming interface sends a silent signal to Zapier. Zapier automatically pings a cloud server, retrieves the customized digital file, formats it into a template in Canva, and instantly emails the secure download link to the buyer.
And the teenager doesn't lift a finger. The software acts as their 24/7 digital clerk, processing payments and handing over the goods while the owner is fast asleep.
It is a brilliantly efficient closed-loop system, but as we move away from the digital realm and into operational reality, we really have to acknowledge a massive friction point here.
What's that?
Well, we've established they run these sophisticated automated funnels, but legally, we are talking about minors. The real-world legal and financial systems in the United States were not built to accommodate 16-year-old AI tycoons.
Yeah, that's a glaring issue. A 17-year-old cannot legally sign a binding commercial contract with a payment processor like Stripe or PayPal. So how are they getting around the legal and tax red tape? Are they just lying about their birthdays?
If they lie, they get permanently banned the moment a background check hits. Major commercial platforms, Etsy, Amazon, Fiverr, explicitly prohibit individuals under 18 from independently executing user agreements.
So how are they operating?
To operate legally, they require a formal custodial framework. This allows teenagers to run the day-to-day operations of the storefront, but the legal ownership rests entirely with a parent or legal guardian.
Meaning the parent has to be the one to step up. They have to use their full legal name, their verified home address, their government ID to open the shop.
Correct. The financial infrastructure is completely tied to the adult. The linked bank accounts for payouts, the credit cards used for the monthly software billing, they must belong to the custodian.
Because payment processors cannot legally form contracts with minors.
Exactly. So all of those earnings, that entire $60,000 annualized revenue, is tied directly to the adult's social security number.
Think about the immense risk that puts on the mom or dad. I mean, if the teenager gets careless with a prompt, accidentally generates a graphic that looks a little too much like a trademarked corporate mouse, and sells it. It is the parent's social security number and bank account on the line.
The legal and financial exposure for the family is substantial, yes. And when tax season comes around, those marketplace processors issue an IRS Form 1099-K directly to the parent.
Oh man. So the IRS views that income as the parent's income.
Yes, which can severely mess up a family's tax bracket. To manage this without destroying their own taxes, families often have to establish formal pass-through structures. They might register a family-owned limited liability company or file Schedule C income deductions to properly attribute the money back to the minor.
That requires a level of serious compliance most high schoolers, and honestly most adults, have never even thought about.
It really does, and there is serious compliance required on the platform side too, like with Amazon KDP.
Right, if a teen is publishing one of those AI-illustrated children's books, Amazon has some incredibly strict mandates regarding synthetic media, don't they?
Yes, Amazon enforces a very strict legal distinction that all creators really must understand. They categorize content into two distinct buckets: AI-generated content and AI-assisted content.
Okay, what's the difference there?
AI-generated content refers to any text, interior illustration, or cover artwork created directly by an AI tool. If Midjourney produced the pixels, it is AI-generated. Authors are legally required to disclose this through an internal declaration questionnaire when submitting their book.
But the sources noted something interesting about that declaration. It is just an internal monitoring mechanism for Amazon's own database. That AI disclosure isn't actually displayed to the customer on the public retail page, is it?
That's a crucial nuance, yeah, it's not public. Now, the other bucket is AI-assisted content. This encompasses works where the human creator actually wrote the text or drew the art themselves, but they used AI solely for idea generation, structural outlining, or basic grammar correction.
So if you use ChatGPT to brainstorm plot points, but you physically type every word of the manuscript yourself,
Yeah.
that is AI-assisted, and it does not require disclosure.
Exactly. But failing to accurately disclose the first category, the generated content, can result in your title being blocked or your entire publishing account being permanently terminated.
Which brings us to the biggest, most existential risk factor of all: copyright.
Yeah, this is the big one.
Let's say a teen operator follows every single rule. They use their parents' account legally, they build a massive Etsy store, they protect their prompts in stealth mode, and they are making $5 grand a month selling vintage botanical digital bundles. What happens if a competitor just goes to their store, right-clicks, saves all those beautiful images, and starts selling the exact same bundle for half the price?
This is the structural vulnerability of the entire generative AI economy right now. Current guidance from the United States Copyright Office dictates that visual works produced entirely by generative AI without substantial human authorship in the final rendering are ineligible for federal copyright protection.
Wow. So because a machine compiled the actual pixels, a human cannot claim a copyright over the final image, even if they spent 10 hours writing and refining a brilliant, highly technical text prompt to generate it.
That is the current legal reality. This means competing entities can legally copy and redistribute those unprotected AI-generated asset bundles without infringing on federal copyright laws.
You literally can't sue someone for stealing an AI image you made.
You cannot. Furthermore, if an operator uses AI to generate artwork that contains trademarked corporate characters or distinct designer brand aesthetics, major platforms will issue rapid digital Millennium Copyright Act suspensions, known as DMCA takedowns.
And just like that, the storefront is gone, the revenue stream vanishes, and the parent's custodial account is blacklisted. You are operating in a space with virtually zero initial capital barriers. I mean,